So, in the last chapter, so basically, so far, what we have talked about is the first chapter, which was the rich don't work for money. Okay, so what we had talked about, that they don't work for money, like they are not like very much, regardless of the fact that where you start, the mentality of becoming rich is that you are just not looking for paycheck as a way to solve your perpetual problem that is going to exist throughout your life of, and that problem is money. Like, you will need money throughout your life in order to survive. So that was the first chapter. Like, rich guys, they look for ways to make their money to work. So what is those ways? So those ways are building assets. Assets are something that is going to generate money for you, either by appreciating in value or by literally getting you dollars or like rupees, and that is something, an asset. And what is wealth? So he talks about there's this definition by Buckminster Fuller, someone, that wealth is the amount of money that if you stopped working today, then how many days you can keep on living without having to actually earn money. So that is equal to wealth. And then he talks about what is net income, and he tells that how net income is kind of facade. Like, a lot of time what people think net income, that is not what it is, and most of the cases it is less than that, because that money that they think is before tax. So after tax, their actual income, net worth, is much lower than they thought at the first place. So that was the first chapter and a few terminologies regarding money. Now we are talking about second chapter, which is why teach financial literacy. Okay, so basically the next chapter is why teach financial literacy. So in this chapter, the way it starts is that he talks about this grand meeting which was organized once in America, where there were 9 of very super rich industrialists who had a lot of money basically. And then he again tells that after 25 years, mostly like few of them committed suicide, few of them died of heart attack, or like some kind of a way which was not really peaceful. Like, in a way it didn't really end well. And so he then tells that the importance of financial literacy is because even it can happen, it is a very high likely situation that you're very intelligent, you are highly literate, but when it comes to money, when it comes to financial literacy, you can have all of that and still you can be financially illiterate. And so it is very important to be financially literate, so that you are able to manage your finances well, you are able to grow what you have, and in all cases you are set and like safe financially. Also in this chapter he talks quite a lot about how the poor people think that their house is their biggest asset, but in reality it's not. So what I think I have already told about asset and liability. Assets are basically the things that make money for you while you are asleep, and liabilities are the things that make you pay for like literally anything. So he talks how rich people think that houses are not the biggest asset, and the poor people think that their house is the biggest asset. At least that's what they are made to believe, which doesn't seem to be the right case, because you buy a house apparently at loan. I mean, in Indian scenario, a lot of us are staying with our parents, so we don't necessarily buy a house. But even in that case, a lot of money goes into the maintenance and like getting the general maintenance and running that household. And so, in a way, it doesn't necessarily qualify as an asset because you can't like sell it or like it's not generating money for you. So rich people think that their house is a liability, whereas poor people they think that their house is the biggest asset. And there was this one very beautiful line somewhere where it was like a lot of poor people they think that money is not everything, and like money is not what they live for, but then they work for money 9 to 5 with their all that khoon pasina and all that stuff just to have enough money to pay the bills and stuff. And so that is a contradiction in itself. And if we just remove the ideology and like thoughts of it, what it looks like out of pure observation is that like as a human you work for money and like you need money, even though if you think that, oh, I don't need money, but you actually do. And so something that plays such an important role in our life, it's better to be literate about it. It's better to be financially literate than not being, and it's just more empowering and makes you more intelligent with money. He also talks about how the mindset of a rich class and the poor classes. Basically, the poor class will do anything to look rich, like they will buy luxury cars and like nice shoes and stuff, like their ghar chala jayega and all that stuff, just to look rich. And a lot of time it is on EMIs, credit card bills, loans and all that stuff. And what eventually happens is there comes a resentment for the very thing that they like the very thing that they brought, because now they have to pay the EMIs or the debts, they're in debts, and that is like a ticking time bomb. And so that is what happens with the poor guys. On contrary to that, what a lot of rich guys do is that they basically generate these assets even before buying something flashy like a Mercedes car or like something. So they generate these assets, and then those assets they sort of use the money out of it, and then they reward themselves because now they can actually afford it and they don't have to pay bills or like any kind of debt for it. And so that is one very interesting viewpoint, the mindset of how the rich people think and the poor people think. Also, there is one more thing, which is that is talked a lot in the next chapter about owning a company and like the things that you work for. And so I'll talk about that in the next video.